just wanted to ask you a few questions about Todd's Leap. The background to your business here, when did you start it, and kind of what sparked the idea for Todd's Leap?
Well, we started the business originally in 1989, and it was where we only actually owned half of the site that we're on now when we started the business, and it soon became very, very apparent that the 10 acres wasn't enough to do the business on, and then we bought the front farm, which was called McCann's Farm. So we joined the two farms together and then had the clubhouse, and away we went. So that was probably early 90s, 91 or 2. What started the idea? Well, I'm from the area, literally 2 fields that way, and when I was very young, my father used to always say to visitors who would always be telling us about the great view that we had, my father would always say, aye, but it doesn't feed the horses. And when I was 11, I was asked by the then local curate to take some people, a walking club, to the Pole Hill, which is just behind us. And these strange people got out of this minibus wearing strange clothing and walking sticks and walking boots and stuff. So I showed them, I thought it was absurd that anybody needed to be shown where the Pole Hill was.
Yes.
So I showed them where the thing was and brought them back. But for my efforts, this was probably about 1970, for my efforts I got the princely sum of 10 shillings, which at the time bought me a bicycle. But it also disproved my father's theory that the view didn't feed the horses. So I learned accidentally that people would pay to come and see what is an area of outstanding natural beauty. But rolling on forward till my late teenage years, when I started competing in four-wheel drive and off-road driving and racing and so on, I discovered that a lot of people wanted to get a run with me, so they wanted to get a spin with me. And I used to always say to the other competitors, oh, people pay for that, people pay for that. Of course, nobody thought I was too serious about that, but then combined, I love meeting people, I love driving, and I love the natural beauty here. So in 1989 it all came together. We bought the farm when we started the business, and it's all down to my wife, because I used to sit with what was off-road magazine, Land Rover World, and I'd be sitting reading these magazines, and I would say, I'm going to get a farm and I'm going to build a track and I'm going to build. And one evening she packed up magazines and she says, would you for F's sake either buy the farm and start that business or shut up about it? And I took it as the impetus that it required to start the business, and I started the business. One Land Rover, I jokingly say now that we started with nothing and still have most of it left, and that's probably the truth, because from one Land Rover and one person, we're right through now, we have probably 50 vehicles, we have 85 staff, full-time staff, we have 40 odd staff coming for the Christmas rush. So we're doing quite well in terms of staff numbers and visitor numbers and so on, and we've won multiple awards with the business from we started. So the business has gone from strength to strength and continues to grow, and it's an evolving business. It's because we're out in front, we're always creating, and we're always trying things. That's just the way it is. You have to keep in front.
And you just saw the market for that. You saw that it was something that people were interested in, obviously the natural beauty up here, and
well,
the adventure side of it.
Initially, we were more interested in our own motorbikes and our own off-road driving, and then we discovered, not entirely accidentally, but we discovered that we got a booking one day for, I think it was 15 people, and we only had 5 vehicles, and we were wondering how we were going to do this. And I suddenly thought, you know what, if we get them, half of them to go shooting, and I got a friend to do clay pigeon shooting, so we got half the group to go clay pigeon shooting, half to go driving, and we swapped over after we got something to eat. So I then discovered that if you had more activities, you could get more people. So we went from off-road driving, clay pigeon shooting, off-road driving, clay pigeon shooting, quads, to the last time I counted with something like 25 different activities. Some of the activities take as many as 40 people at a time, so it gives you an idea. We can now cater, and have in this past season catered for over 1,000 people in a single day. So to go from 10 people being a big crowd to now you're talking about hundreds, and now we broke the 1,000 bar on a single day. So that's where the business is, and that's where we're going. We'll just continue to grow. And
that's how you've developed it over the years. Just you saw the more activities means more people, and you're able to move them from activity to activity throughout the day.
it's a simplified way of doing it, yes. You have to be very selective about the activities. Some of the activities that we put in and spend a lot of money on have failed miserably. Other simple things that doesn't cost so much are fantastic. You know what I mean? One of the activities that worked really, really well is one of the background activities we're doing is blindfold land over diving, which has got to be the simplest thing in the world to do. But it's one of the main, if you read our reviews, it's one of the better. It's just people have such a good time on it. With other activities we've spent hundreds of thousands of pounds on in the field. That's the way it is. Because we're out at the front, we have to lead from the front and we have to keep testing the market and testing the market. We do an awful lot of feedback. We have actually feedback forms, and not only do we have feedback forms, we actually read them and we actually use the information that we find. And a very, very simple example, the first week that we had feedback forms, and we put out the feedback forms, and the first two groups were two head groups, and every single feedback form said there wasn't enough mirrors in the cabins. Now, from a male point of view, I thought there was plenty of mirrors, but when I got the feedback, I was obviously wrong. So I learned that feedback is important.
And utilising the feedback that you have.
You must utilise it. There's no point in gathering the feedback if you don't utilise it. So we take feedback from the customers all the time. Another golden rule that I have in business and I instill in all my staff is that today is the first day of this business.
Okay.
This is opening day. Today is not yesterday, not the day before, today. And we behave accordingly, and I'll emphasise that many times you have seen businesses open, and I always give the example of a local shopkeeper who opened a supermarket and was carrying the bags of shopping out, was putting up the umbrella, was keeping the people dry, and nobody got wet and nothing was too much trouble. And that went along till he stopped going out with the umbrella, and he stopped carrying out the bags, and he stopped this and he stopped that, and they noticed the place starting to get decrepit and it wasn't clean and the customer numbers went down, and an odd stale loaf, and the next thing the business was sold. Somebody says to me, how come that business sold? How come that business failed? I says, because his umbrella broke. They didn't notice the simplest, smallest thing. So we have to be like that, where we have to look after each and every customer as if it's our first day of business, and we have to mollycoddle them to make sure they're going to come back. And that's what we do. I talk about rubbing the customers' backs and getting their wind up. Happy customers come back, unhappy customers don't come back. And in Ireland, the one thing that Irish people do is they vote with their feet. An Irish person won't tell you that they've had a bad meal in your restaurant. They just say, I'm never going back. They tell all their friends, you'll never go back. So you have to understand how that psyche works, and then work with it.
And what does innovation mean to you here at Todd's Leap?
Well, it's dead simple. Innovation is the way forward. The young people is the way forward. If you stay at what you're good at and stay at what you do, you'll become a dinosaur, and dinosaurs are extinct. And there are businesses locally that are dinosaurs, and there's businesses in a similar field to mine that started a really good idea and didn't do anything with it, and subsequently died a slow, painful death. We use innovation on a daily basis. This site, about 10 years ago, we wired the complete site for fibre optic. We were one of the very first companies, probably the first company in Northern Ireland to have a website. Our company used to be called todsleap.com, and in 1990 the council put up a road sign pointing up this way saying todsleap.com, and not only did the people not know what .com meant, but the council didn't even know. So we had a road sign, the only road sign in the UK with .com on it. So we were ahead of the curve on that. I love innovation. We have electronic sign-ons, and we have Facebook campaigns, and we have all this sort of stuff. We have Facebook Wi-Fi hotspots on site where you can record that you've been here. And for example, we put a video up last Sunday, which is a week, in 7 days. A Facebook video we put out is on 13,500 views. So brilliant. That's the way we do it, and that's what you need. And if you're not getting that sort of response, you're wasting your time. If you're putting something on Facebook and you're getting 187 likes, guess what? You may as well forget about it. So you have to encompass the technology, and the best way to do that is to get young, fresh, vibrant people in, and not only get them in, give them their work, and then let them do it. Yeah. So that's very hard for my generation And in business, it's very hard to let the baby go and see how they get on with it. So you have to have the faith. You have to pick the right people and have the faith in them to do it.
Delegate.
Delegate and innovate, but it works most of the time. Some of the time you have spectacular failures. You have to accept that. It doesn't all. You can't get goals every time you kick the ball. So you just keep at it. Best practice, you know.
Brilliant. So some of your services and some of your activities up here are very innovative for out here in the country, and you're the only person doing them in Northern Ireland, probably in the whole of Ireland. And how do you come up with those ideas?
Well, we'll go one further than that. We've got the drop zone, and when we built the drop zone, it was the first one in Europe, and it's now the company that helped us develop that have went on to build probably hundreds of them. You know what I mean? How did I come up with the idea? Well, I wanted people to have basically a safe jump. I had looked at various things, and I've seen all these things on films where the stuntmen would jump off a building, and I researched that, and I found out, I spoke to companies in America that built these, what they call landing bags, and I discovered that they were single use landing bags. So whenever the person jumped off the building and landed the bag, it took the guys half a day to rebuild the bag to do it again. So I got onto a company that was doing bags for ski jumps which looked like pancakes, and I basically said to them, they're a Dutch company, and we were speaking English, and there was good conversation. I says, you know your pancake thing? I says, could you make a Christmas cake? And we ended up building a 10 by 10 metre bag with dump valves and all the rest, and put it in, and it works very well, still working to this day. And we're working with that company. We've been with them in both Netherlands and America this year, developing yet another. We have another thing coming that we're developing with them, and development is. I don't sleep well at night, but I also record my ramblings, and so I write down things that I think about, and a lot of the crap that you think about, if you really delve into it, you can mince some good stuff out of it. Yeah. So good ideas. I go to shows all over the world and look at stuff. I keep my eyes open and listen to the customers, what the customers want, and then I try and recreate that. Everybody comes here and wants to do dangerous things. My job is let them do dangerous things, but to keep them alive and unhurt and send them home happy. So you have to balance between the dangerous and the safe.
Yes. And
you have to deliver a dangerous thing at a safe level. That's the key to this particular, but it's key to all adventure businesses. So it has to be taming the dangerous things. Yes. That's what you're doing, and that's what we have to do on a daily basis.